Greetings and citations, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James, aka the Architect, and with me, as always, Skull Hunter Games, aka Jordan.
I thought you forgot who I was for a second. But also joining us today, and I love no insults.
You are forgettable.
There's the insult. We have Joseph and Charles. Everybody. It's
hello,
good.
Hello.
Kind of. It's kind of like the original gang back. That usually is never here all together. I thought you were going to let it slide with no insults. I thought we were keeping the nice train going. And then you managed to slip one in there on my time to shine, my 5 seconds of freedom.
Listen, Jordan, you got to realize I'm always slipping it in there. Anyway, Joseph and Charles, how was your guys' week? I'll let Joseph go first. How was your week, man?
Not a bad week for me. So I ended up spending about 2 hours at the bank, just signing up for a bunch of new programs. I was really happy that my bank told me that all these years I was paying way too much on service fees, and that I didn't even notice that. So okay, I'm not that bored. There's other interesting things happen, but that's crap. That actually was it. Yeah. So weather's getting nice. Finally, heading out. But the thing is, in Canada, is that there's a lot of like weather related paranoia. So like, I'll look at my phone and it'll say it's 20. Like, good, sweater and sweatpants, and then I head out and I look like just a mess, tying around the waist and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. Sorry guys. I wish more cool stuff was happening. It would be easier to do if I was on like once a month, but like on a week to week basis, I'm just here. I did tell you guys like I was kind of looking at getting a new apartment, like a bigger room. I changed my mind. It ain't happening. We looked at the financials and we realized we were gonna spend like an additional $800 for some luxuries, but there was a big difference between necessity and luxury. What I have now is a necessity because I can't stand my family, whereas the other one was a luxury because like I can stand my girlfriend.
That's fair.
I got a funny story about banking when Charles is done telling us about his week.
My week was really good. Freaking, I still can't get over how freaking awesome Double or Nothing this past Sunday was. Freaking, I was been looking forward to that show all freaking week, and it was worth the wait. Some of the matches didn't go how I thought they were going to, and some did. But I was not disappointed with watching that pay-per-view and everything, and I just looking forward to Friday to see what the heck happens on Dynamite. And also looking forward when they launch their new show in August. I also had to reorganize my NASCAR diecast because I had to find another box because I have so many that I just didn't have room in the boxes that I had, so if I could find another one, and I had to put most of them in.
Are they in numerical order?
Really. They just put in most of them I just do in one box, and the rest are just divided into ones that I'm holding on to because I really like them, and the rest are in another box because was thinking about selling majority of my NASCAR diecasts, even though I have another one coming. But the only reason why I have that one coming is because it's a special one. Because it's Dale Jr.'s second Daytona 500 winning the diecast version, and I've been wanting that car for years. Because I literally freaking, and this is a true story, I stayed up till freaking midnight to freaking see that race the entire way, and freaking it was worth it. That was 2014, by the way. There.
I have a couple in-laws that are really in the NASCAR, and they got like the Dale Jr. Like race jackets and all that. Like they're I think my father-in-law owns a Dale Jr. cutout, actually, like a life-size cutout of Dale Jr. I told him that.
Sorry, James. Sorry.
I was gonna say next time we have like a family get-together, like Thanksgiving or something like that, just put him out, have him be the greeter.
I even have one of those hoods that you used to be able to find in places, or you see like hanging up at like bars that you could hang up on a wall or in a garage somewhere of one of Dale Jr.'s old cars.
Oh, yeah, it's like a clan.
Yeah, I'll say the NASCAR hoods, right? They were white with the little holes, look like ghost sheets. Those ones.
It's like a legit like tin metal one. It's like they just took it off a car.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's in my closet right now. My
Probably a
room's
good
not big
place
enough
to
to
keep
hold
it.
hang it.
Jokes aside, I know which ones you're talking about. Like I said, my in-laws, they're huge NASCAR fans. Yeah, my week was pretty tame. I had Memorial Day weekend off, which was nice. Spent some time with the family. I'm trying to think if I did anything specifically. We cooked out. I think that was about it. I think the rest of it was just like running around or just relaxing and stuff like that. It was nice. I needed it. I went for like a 5 mile run yesterday, and that was kind of dumb on me because my shins hurt now.
But nice, 5 miles, dude. Good job.
Yeah. Well, see, I would normally I'd be like, "Oh, thank you," but it's like it was a dumb decision first off, because that's like I used to do that stuff when I was in the military and stuff like that. So I was like, "Oh, I can still do it," and then I did it, but painfully, and now I'm paying for it because my shins hurt really bad.
Yeah.
I was going to say I always hated doing the mile when I was in school because freaking my asthma would start acting up and like almost towards the end of it I would start having a hard time breathing and I would just be walking. It's like I just want to get this freaking shit over with. Why the hell did they force us to do this in gym class?
When I was in I think it was boot camp, one of the guys there had a heart attack. So
That's upsetting.
Was boot camp as accurate? Well, how was it the way that they depicted in movies, where you have a drill sergeant who's almost like poetic in the way they punish people?
all right, I can get into some stories. So yes and no. Yes, it was, but it wasn't with the same vigor that it usually shows in the movies. If you're talking about a specific movie that I think you're talking about.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah,
I was going to say that one.
directed by Stanley Kubrick himself. Who also
One of the all-time greatest.
Yeah, absolutely. He was so good. Known for such greats as Full Metal Jacket and the moon landing. So, um, I'm on one today. I'm on one. Yeah. So, yes and no. They all have this like the same bag of tricks because like it's all taught to them. Rules have changed a little bit now since it did in the '60s, obviously. But yeah, they had these things called, they would turn recruits into sugar cookies, which was basically when you're running around constantly, you get all hot and sweaty and you're sticky and your clothes are wet because you're hot and sweaty. And then there was like outside of each building, there was like a sand pit note for punishment. That was like basically the punishment square. It was called IT, intensive training. And basically, if you got made into a sugar cookie, what that would entail was, while you're all hot, sweaty, and wet, they threw you in the sand pit and made you do a bunch of different exercises and stuff like that to punish you. And then, when you got up, you're covered in sand. There was stuff like that, and you had to walk around, call yourself recruit sugar cookie and stuff like that. There was so when in boot camp, you have the chow hall. The chow hall is you get fed the same thing that the Marines get fed. The only difference is when I say that, I mean it's like you get like the portion size. Like you get like the chicken or whatever, and then you have a side, usually either mashed potatoes or rice, some crackers, some bread, and then there's usually an option for a dessert, like usually like a pudding or something like that, or a cookie. Well, we had a fat kid in our platoon. And because of said fat kid, we weren't allowed to have dessert. Makes sense, obviously. Why, you got to punish everyone, I suppose. Well, it was 4th of July. We were in boot camp during 4th of July. And so our senior drill instructor, he was like, listen, if you think you can have dessert, you may have some. If you know you shouldn't have dessert, don't. And like, I'm skinny, a bunch of the skinny kids were all like, oh, cool, whatever, sweet, a cookie or whatever. So we had the cookie. And we look up at the table, and the one fat kid grabbed a giant glob of pudding. And so our drill instructor was walking by, he was like, oh, was that good? Like, he was genuinely being a nice guy, because our senior drill instructor was like the dad, right? You didn't want to upset dad, because he's the one who treated you nice. He's going around just make sure we're all good. And then he looked over and said, what the F is that, out loud, and pointed right to the fat guy. And he's like, oh, is that pudding good? Is that pudding good? And he went, yes, sir. And so he's like, okay. He took his cup of Gatorade, because we all got a cup of Gatorade and a cup of water. That's the only 2 drinks you're allowed to have. He dumped the Gatorade on the pudding and said, "You better finish all of that." And so the fat kid did as he was told. He finished all the Gatorade-soaked pudding. And then we got out of the chow hall, and then we're marching back to our barracks. And then he said, "Platoon halt." So we all stopped. And then he said, "All right." Because I forget what he called him. I think it was like some funny name, like Lardo or something like that. Just some funny fat insult, fat shaming. You know, he would have been canceled today. He said, because he wants to eat dessert when he obviously shouldn't have, we all are going to practice our drill. And so we did to the rear march, which is you step, and then you turn around, step. So it's basically like you're doing like an about face while marching. And so he did that for about 20 minutes straight, but with only 2 steps in between. So basically you're spinning in a circle for like 20 minutes. His goal,
now I see where this is going.
his goal was to get Fatso to puke, and he succeeded. And then he got in trouble because he puked in formation. So that's some pretty funny stories. There's a couple more, but I'm not going to spend all the time talking about that. What I do feel like, actually, Jordan, you didn't tell us about your week, I don't think. So go ahead.
Honestly, I could say my week has probably been more hectic than it seems like you guys has been. But you guys have better stories. I've been working a lot of behind the scenes. I've been working on more of my comedy acts and been working on.
So Charles likes NASCAR because he's actually right in the middle of the 500 as we speak.
He's just right there.
Every time freaking we do one of these things, something like that always seems to happen. Or whenever I'm playing with Jordan on like Call of Duty or something.
I just can't wait to hear the car drive past and then hear a scream. Because all I'm gonna start saying is, "Little Sally, walk." My girlfriend, I hate her.
Leg.
Yeah, I hate my girlfriend for that. But yeah, week's been good. Been busy, been productive, working on comedy stuff. Shopping for the girl. It's gonna be our 4-year anniversary coming up here real soon. Don't know how we made it, to be honest. We lived together.
No one else does either.
Yeah, I know. We lived together for 4 years as well. So it's like we've been trapped in small places and separated, and yeah, we've still been together. So we've been trying to figure out what to do there. We're talking about taking a trip to like Colorado or something to have some fun. And
What's legal there?
Not that kind of fun. We're clean. We're clean. We're clean vanilla little people. You know, we don't take in the fun activities like that. Even though Scotch sounds really good right now. But you know what? It's been a good week. Also, I wanted to try to get used to saying this. We have our normal sponsor you hear all the time. Thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring the podcast. We'll talk about them later on. I want to make sure to give a little plug in at the beginning. But besides that, a lot of Resident Evil been being played.
That's like one time they played Left 4 Dead and freaking Call of Duty.
Yeah, there's also been a Call of Duty, Dead by Daylight. A lot of not a lot of Left 4 Dead, but there have been some Left 4 Dead, and I have a feeling the joke's gonna come up. Me wearing a hula skirt and me wearing a coconut bra. You know, people got turned on. I had a poll up. I sat there and stated to everyone. When you clicked on the stream, it will say, "How do you like my outfit? Yes, no, or WTF?" Everyone, it says 100% said WTF, and I went, okay, that's engagement right there. I'm just trying to get views. That's all I'm doing. I asked to use my sister, and she said no. She said, "I'll be in the stream. I won't be the cover of your stream." And I went, I have to take what I can. So I'm just trying to get views, trying to get past that 2,000 mark on YouTube. So, you know, working there. Hey guys, this podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Have you heard of it? If you haven't, let me tell you guys, Anchor is an all-in-one platform to make your podcast. They have everything set up just for you. They've helped us out so many times, and they are the ones we are using to this day. Guys, Anchor has all the creative tools you need to get your podcast started, from your phone to your PC. You name it, they got it. and you can make money immediately with no minimum listenership needed. That sounds like a pretty good deal, but now you still have distribution. No, you don't. Anchor takes care of that for you. You can be heard on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and so many more. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's all in one platform made just for you. Anchor makes it easy. Jordan, where do I find this? Where do I go? Let me tell you. You can go to anchor.fm or download the Anchor app. That is Anchor, ANCHOR.FM, and download the Anchor app today. Thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring the podcast.
So
Sorry.
sorry, go ahead, Charles.
I was gonna say, I just thought about something since like E3 is like coming up. It's like the 12th or 13th, and a couple days after that of this month. I'm just wondering, is one of the podcasts, are we gonna be like where we talk about what was revealed and do announced, or is it gonna be like something we do we live react to?
No, so because I think most of E3 happens during the day, and I have a full-time job, so that's not going to work. But our podcast the first podcast after E3 will be a direct review recap. We'll give our grades for each studio or each company, how they did.
They
I
might
just know
even be
one thing
added
right
into the
now, and
Scully
Jordan, you know
Awards.
this as well as I do, that this is gonna happen. If they show anything for Halo Infinite, I am gonna lose my freaking mind.
All right,
They'll show something. Didn't they already show some gameplay footage of it?
Yeah,
They
last
show-
year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
So
it's
there's
like
got to be
It
something.
looked weird.
I just really hope Nintendo doesn't screw the pooch.
Ooh, what's Nintendo doing?
Well, we want to see Breath of the Wild 2.
But they'll probably show something for that Pokemon Legends Arceus game, and probably some gameplay of the
No,
remakes of
they're just
Diamond
gonna
and Pearl games.
they're just gonna show 13 JRPGs and expect us to be super excited about all of them.
I'm hoping to see something from Final Fantasy 16.
There at least will be like a new Smash character revealed.
Yeah, it'll be another sword character.
Like 1 in 3 chance.
It'll just be there's not another Pokemon. They'll have this sword-shaped Pokemon as a new fighter character.
I would love to see that. I will go out and get a Switch as soon as possible. I will play it. If that's what it takes. Yeah, that's what it would take.
That's gonna convert you to the Switch. Nothing else.
Sure, nothing else. We didn't talk about it on several podcasts beforehand. Nah, we definitely didn't. I'm gonna get a Switch just because of that one solid reason. But we do.
You're not even gonna play the character. You're just gonna be like, oh, Animal Crossing. This character looks pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna join because of that one add-on and be like, cool. Never gonna play it. I'm gonna play as a Link. I hear he's a good guy to play as.
Well, you're dealing with 2 Link mains in this Kurt call, so.
Oh wow, it's like the 3 Musketeers. I want to be the prettiest one.
Too late.
You're gonna be the guy with the long blonde hair.
Now, that's James. That's little Thor over there. Like, why would you? Don't you like that, James? Little Thor.
You actually should. I'll tell some funny stories after the podcast. But there was something I wanted to get into.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you talked about streaming and getting views. So a funny story from over the weekend. I was on Twitch just perusing, right? So if you guys know about the hot tub meta, that was when people would take over the just chatting category and be in hot tubs and bikinis and take over everything. And then what happened was Twitch was like, hey, we're going to make this its own category. Now, when the big names aren't streaming in that category, there's very few people in that category. So what people learned to do was they would have their normal setup, like just a normal like webcam like me and you have. And then the background would be a green screened hot tub or pool or something. So they could be in the category, and then they would just play their game like normal and take all the viewers from that category. And I just think that is manipulation, but it's also genius. I love it.
I need Facebook to do that, because if Facebook does that, dude, I'm set. Like, I tested out a multicam the other day. You know, I had the cooking area set up over here. Turns out it melted through my table. Don't do that again. But
That's awesome.
I tested that out. You know, I could have multiple camera feeds and stuff like that. Once again, if I had 1,000 followers on Facebook,
I'm telling you,
kiddie
burning your
pool is
house
going
down. But burning your house down would have got you a lot of views. I'm telling you.
It would. I thought about it. My insurance said don't.
That'd have been
So,
awesome.
I
still
thought
wanna know
about
how
it.
much I still want to know how much a green screen is.
Listen to
depends.
Art.
You
Hey,
wa-
Art paid
jeez,
like
if you just get like
$5.
green fabric.
I'll say if you want a legit one, it's closer to 400 or 500. If you want to just buy a railing and put like a green sheet or curtain, it could cost anywhere between, I would say, like 25, $50 to do that.
So if I'm ever able to get my own place and I just want to have rooms that just for has like the whole setup and everything in it. You know, I've seen people have like green screens and shit. So
I
Yeah,
actually own this green screen. I just don't.
I was contemplating getting one because I want to start actually taking my streams to the next level. By that I mean doing it more than once every 2 weeks, and then actually have overlays and stuff like that. I have overlays, like I have like donation notifications. I have a chat box, but I don't have anything like crazy. So that'll eventually get fixed, maybe.
that reminds me, when you guys were playing CS:GO the last time, I don't know if you were saying something where you were mentioning me, because at the time I was doing a run in Vault of Glass and Destiny 2. I wasn't able to pay attention that much.
Yeah, I
Which
probably said something.
apologize for.
Probably said something that you're a tacky idiot and I hate you. That was probably what I said.
Yeah, sure. That's exactly because there's not video proof of the situation that occurred.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not currently still up as a VOD on the Architect on YouTube. Definitely not there.
It's
But
like
you know
a
what
YouTube
is
shout out.
you know what is almost here though?
Oh my God! What?
The new version of the Nintendo Switch.
Ooh.
Oh! Is it cheaper?
No, it's actually gonna be more expensive.
And then I'm out.
I'm with Joseph on this one. I feel kind of burned by it. And the fact, like, I understand, like, a lot of the major consoles are going next gen, but this isn't necessarily next gen. It's just a bigger monitor with better resolution. That's literally the only difference that I could tell. And I think it had extra storage.
I still wish that they'd just do something like they did with the NES Classic, where they just bring back the Game Boy. That'd be awesome.
Well, on the Switch, they have the NES, the SNES, and from what I've heard, they're working on a Nintendo 64, like ROM emulator almost for the console, which is really nice. And every week it updates, adds new games and stuff like that. But Bloomberg News reports that the new Nintendo Switch model will be priced higher than $299, which is the current price for a Nintendo Switch. $199 for the 2D version, or not the 2D version, the Switch Lite. Apparently Nintendo is going to be starting plans to phase out the Switch, just like when the new 3DS came out. They phased out the old 3DS, like the way the screens and stuff were. So they're planning on phasing out the base Switch, and they have a planned release for September, October, that time frame, and it should be fully announced and all the details should be out. They're saying before E3. So I want to
While
hear
we're on the
your.
topic of the, sorry, I was going
I
to
was
say
just,
something.
no, perfect. I was literally going to ask what you guys thought. So go for it, Charles.
I don't really see what's the need of a whole nother version of the Switch, since people are just perfectly fine with the versions that they're at right now, except for Switch Lite, because that one sucks. I wasn't sure if they ever brought Pokemon of the remasters of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire to the Switch or not, or if that's still stuck on the 3DS.
Well, as far as I know, like I said, they want to upgrade because they want to keep being competitive. Like they know they're not going toe to toe with the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, but they still want to be a viable option. Especially since all these other consoles, we reported a couple weeks ago that they're still going to have shipment issues and getting them out all the way through the year 2022 possibly. So that is why they want to be an option like this, just like how a lot of kids for Christmas got Switches this year and stuff like that, because the PS5, Xbox Series X, and all that weren't available. They're doing this. They upgraded it. It has a different NVIDIA card in it, and the screen is a higher resolution. For some people, that's a huge plus.
Yeah.
And the storage. The storage is actually one of the things I would genuinely be happy about, because I I had to buy an SD card for my Switch because it comes with like what is it, like 10 gigs of memory, like base, something like that. I could be wrong on that, but it's like give or take around there. It fills up really fast if you download 1 or 2 games, it's full. But yeah, so what are your guys' opinions on this, and what do you expect? While we're talking about each company, because I think each story has a company attached to it, what do you guys think about this? And then what do you guys expect from this company at E3?
So real quick, just checked online. So the Switch comes with 32 gigabytes of internal storage, which might sound like a lot, but it can be eaten up pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
So my initial thought is, boo. I feel that as developers, they do, or as console developers, they do owe it to their base to say, we're selling you this console. This is what it's going to be until we come up with a new console. I mean, you don't really see that very much anymore. Pretty much every console has had a reiteration of it, but they've consistently been quality of life improvements, a change in design, trying to make it smaller. I think when it comes into a hardware change on the inside, like an upgraded video cards, to me, that's starting to draw the line, because it's starting to create almost like a caste system between the people who own like one system and then the people who own the slightly more powerful system. Now, is it going to be prohibitive? Does this mean that there's going to be games developed specifically for the Switch Pro? Or now there's, like, say for instance, Breath of the Wild 2, will the definitive version be played on the Switch Pro? And then I'm going to encounter what I did with the Wii U, which is play a laggier version of it. I'm not looking forward to that.
I will severely be upset if that's the case.
Because they'll do it. I mean, it's Zelda. They will use that as a hostage so that people will have to pay whatever it is they're going to charge.
But yet they didn't do that for the GameCube.
They knew the GameCube was dead.
Which is the one console they should have done that with.
So
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because of Twilight Princess. So yeah, I see your point there.
Well, I was thinking even Majora's Mask for, like, instead of releasing it for the 64, they should have held it hostage, made it for the GameCube.
I'm the one that told you that idea.
Yeah, I know, and that's
Right,
why it's stuck in my brain ever since. Like literally,
As it
at
should,
least
yeah.
at least once a week, it sticks in my brain. Like, what if it was a GameCube game? Like that's for shoot. Like that is like no gimmicks here. That is 100%. Like, ever since you told me that, it has been like, why didn't they do that?
Yeah. I don't know. That honestly sounds like an oversight. I'm thinking that maybe even it didn't even occur to them to do it. I mean, now and again, there is also like, now it's the jump between the GameCube and the 64 was more pronounced. So at least players thought, well, this is a change in generation. We're heading into the next wave of gaming. Our characters now have digits on their hands as opposed to just like political chunks. Major upgrades. So this, it's almost like the more specific or the more minute the upgrade, the more it irritates me. For me, the one consolation would be if maybe there's like some transfer program where you trade in a Switch and you get like $100 off the Switch Pro. Then I've got income now. Like, okay, fine. If there's an incentive program, then okay, maybe I'll do it. But I'm not gonna buy this thing again like full price.
Yeah, I'm not buying another Switch. You know what I mean? Without something like you said, I think that's a good idea. All right, Charles, what do you think? What do you think about this new console coming out? And then what do you think of what could we expect from Nintendo at E3?
Well, I don't know really what to think about the whole idea of another version of the Switch coming out. As far as I can tell, it's probably just something that they're doing so that people can watch Netflix on it and everything, because that seems to be a thing that people seem to be doing lately. Is they have to come out with things that people can watch, stuff like HBO Max and stuff on, and Disney Plus and everything. And as far as Nintendo goes, like I was saying before, they'll probably show something for the Pokemon games and probably something for Mario's, hopefully something for Zelda, because I have a friend who loves Legend of Zelda, and if they don't show something that celebrate that game's 30th anniversary, she's going to freaking go tactical nuke on their freaking studio. Freaking, I don't know. Hopefully they might show something for Bayonetta 3 and the new Metroid they teased like years ago,
You're
but
right, Metroid. I forgot about Metroid.
and you want to talk about freaking upgrades? Freaking, they're taking Pokemon and turning into Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Freaking with Pokemon Legends Arceus. I don't know. Freaking, I just hope that the E3 presentation doesn't suck. And that goes the same thing for you, Xbox.
Hey, don't
Dude.
be trying to fight my boy Xbox.
So I'm calling it now. Microsoft bought Bethesda. So what's going to happen is during Bethesda's presentation, Todd Howard's going to waltz onto the stage like he does every year, and he's going to announce a brand new experience for the next gen console, and it's going to be Skyrim again. He can't keep getting away with this.
Instead of
I just want to see him get freaking
122
punched in the back of the head
FPS,
and then teabagged by a guy dressed as
160.
Master Chief.
For the past 8 years, the dudes went on stage and has announced, "Oh yeah, we're doing this and this," and then on your smart fridge, we have a brand new adventure, Skyrim.
I want someone to get that amped up about Candy Crush. Like, I would want someone to come out on a stage like that going, guys, let's get the next level of technology. Candy Crush on a smart fridge. Like, I just want someone to get amped up to, like, talk about, like, little games like that. Something that makes no sense but still makes millions.
You know
That's
what
what
I used my smart fridge for?
Knowledge.
No. I like it when I accidentally leave it slightly open and it dings at me and says, "Hey, close me," and I say, "Okay," and I close it. That is the best feature on my fridge.
Just
Those are
like...
great. Just harder.
Every time you guys are mentioning a smart fit, just reminds me when I seen like years ago, this dude had his whole PC gaming setup inside a fridge.
Yeah,
I love everything that just happened there. The PC set up in the fridge, and the computer just saying, "Harder, Daddy, harder, architect, harder." Close me up.
I have this very close personal friend of mine who is making a PC gaming setup inside of a convection oven to warm your chicken.
You got with KFC?
console.
That was the joke. My close personal friend is KFC. I am
yeah.
friends with the Colonel himself.
Dude, that's
I still
awesome.
want to know how that console's
guys-
going to freaking work.
Do you guys want to know a fun fact? I try to teach you guys something new every week.
Okay.
So
I'm still
Colonel-
reeling about the divots in my pinky finger.
So Colonel Sanders was in fact a real colonel, but he was not a colonel in the military. So Kentucky is a commonwealth, and the thing about commonwealths is that they have colonels. So he was in fact a real Kentucky colonel. Now the only way to become a Kentucky colonel is you have to be nominated by someone who is already a Kentucky colonel, kind of like being knighted. But a Kentucky colonel, I think, is way better than being knighted.
I'd rather be knighted personally.
But yeah, so he was in fact a real colonel. Because like you hear, "Oh, Colonel Sanders was a real colonel," and then you have people say like, "Yes, he was," and he was indeed a real colonel, but not in the military. He was the colonel of the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Okay. Did not
Which-
know that. I knew he was a real colonel. I just didn't know it was something
Which-
stupid.
So basically, what that meant was he got fancy parking at state buildings.
Must be nice for him. I can't find parking in Kentucky.
And I think it was posthumously he got it. I could be wrong. But anyway, back to this. Jordan, what do you think about this? About the Nintendo new Switch console, E3,
Sorry.
Colonel Sanders. What's on your mind, bud?
Chicken. That's
Chicken?
really what's on my mind right now is chicken. But no, so the E3, I mean, I expect them to mention, you know, they got a game coming out, or they're going to make a game that has slightly better quality than it was on the original Nintendo, they bring it to the new one, because if you have high resolution crap like that, it will obviously play better and look better. But I think this could be a good thing if we can actually see more of them in stores. I think that could be the upside, because at this moment in time, I cannot go to any of my stores and buy a Nintendo Switch. I can buy the lights, but that for a streamer that is useless. So yeah, I hope for that reason. Now the resolution, I don't see how that's going to affect if you use the HDMI port and plug it into your TV. I don't think that's going to change much about that. So honestly, it's like there's not a lot to say about it besides I hope that, you know, it starts saying, oh, we get new games. And the streaming services, I'm pretty sure we talked about that a couple weeks ago, how Nintendo stated that they're never going to bring any streaming services on their platforms. And I think that would include like Netflix and stuff. But if it helps get supply and demand, I'll be happy. But with the image you shared with us on Discord, it says release of September or October is the planned to release. So, and then the other thing I have is our chip shortage going to be done by then?
I don't know, but these consoles could already have been made, and they were just in a testing. Or they tested it and then they made them prior, and then now they were just they're probably waiting for post-pandemic to release them.
That is possible, but then why don't they just release it now? Because they want money, obviously, because they're pretty much just releasing the same thing with higher up qualities.
Yeah, they're building hype. They're building hype.
Okay,
they're waiting
they want to do it.
A lot of
they want the lineups.
Yeah, a lot of the big games come out near the end of the year. Near the fall winter season is when all the big games come out.
Okay. Now
it's the same thing with when it comes to like movies and stuff like that. Like everyone knows, all the big blockbuster movies happen literally the spring, like late spring, early summer. That's when all the blockbusters happen. And same thing with the games. All the AAA overhyped games come out mid to late fall, early winter.
So then, I'm sorry, real fast. How much more expensive do we know they're gonna be? If it's like a $50 difference, that's not bad.
So a normal Switch costs you about $299 USD. They're projecting, I've heard rumors between $399 and $499.
$499.
Like anywhere, like I've heard a source say they're expecting it to be $499. I've heard a source say they're expecting it to be $399.
If Nintendo does that, it's going to screw them. Nobody
really knows how much it's going to be until they do it. But I will say, if they do ask for the $499 price tag, it can't just be a console. It would have to come with accessories and or a game or two, like the Xboxes used to do,
or like the Nintendo game, like Nintendo systems used to do.
Yeah,
even
before they got so cheap.
Yeah,
I will say, if it comes with an upgraded version of Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort straight in the box, worth it.
There's one Nintendo 64 game I wish I'd bring back, as long as it's not one of those short-term release things like they did for the
Ocarina of Time
last year. I wish they'd freaking like remaster or just make a new version of Pokemon Stadium with all the Pokemon from every game that's come out since then.
So, unpopular opinion, I actually liked Pokemon Stadium, and I say that because there's a lot of people who didn't like Pokemon Stadium. The people who like Pokemon liked it. They liked the mini games and stuff like that. I thought that was really fun. But there was a lot of people that didn't like it, which is weird because you could even load your, like, if you had a Game Boy, it might have been a Game Boy Advance, I don't remember. You could load it. They had a little cartridge adapter. You could literally just put your cartridge into your N64 controller, and you were able to send your party to Pokemon Stadium.
That's pretty cool.
I remember I was I do, if you didn't have a Pokemon to transfer into it, you could just have like the rental Pokemon. So I was competing with one of my friends, and he had I think I might have told you guys the story, but I don't think so. But he drafts a Gengar, and Gengar for some reason has Thunderbolt, like the one where you only have 10 PP for it. And I didn't think Gengar had Thunderbolt. And my team consisted of Blastoise, Articuno, Moltres, like the 6 heaviest of hitters you can get. So but Blastoise, Charizard, Venusaur.
So all
then,
flying and water types.
Yeah.
Except for
so
Venusaur.
Gengar alone cuts through like 2/3 of my team, and I'm just like, why does Gengar have Thunderbolt? Why does Gengar have Thunderbolt? 10 years later, my friend drew a picture to commemorate that, which I had framed on my wall in my parents' house. So
That's awesome.
that's why I hate Pokemon Stadium.
That's because Gengar back in the day used to be freaking busted as all hell.
Dude, Porygon had, it was called like Tri-Attack or something like that. Super overpowered. So basically it was like an Ice Blast, Fire Blast, and Thunder Blast all at once. It was amazing.
That move is still stupid to this day.
I remember, this is Pokemon cards now, but we all thought Porygon could transform into any other Pokemon. Because we read the description and we couldn't tell what it meant. It says Porygon can change like different type. Like it can change into like a water type or a fire type. That was his ability. But we all read that and thought Porygon could just change into any Pokemon. So Porygon was like the Black Lotus of Pokemon cards in school. I traded mine for a Dugong. Turned out that was actually a very good trade. I just didn't realize.
I really do apologize every time one of these loud ass vehicles drive by my house.
We'll get you a better microphone, hopefully.
I know the only Pokemon that could turn into everything else in the cartoons could turn into people was Ditto.
Yep, Ditto was the only one.
Yeah, actually, is a Pokemon that can do that.
You were just thinking the wrong one.
No, but it was, we all were. But I
I
swear to you, we thought it was Porygon. I remember this.
You know what? I understand because there's also that one Pokemon card you can get that like even shows like you could do something with it, and it shows like Porygon transforming into like a weird, like not a car thing, but like a weird car looking thing. I remember that Pokemon. I might have it. I used to be big into Pokemon. I still have like the original foiled Zapdos. Like, I've been into Pokemon for a long time. Magic the Gatherings. I actually know.
Now, if I understand correctly, Pokemon emulates the rule set of Magic the Gathering, where instead of mana, you have energy cards, and you lay the energy cards down, and you have to tap them for energy.
Yeah.
So theoretically, you could pit a Pokemon deck against a Magic the Gathering deck.
Except Pokemon would win because they say do like 20-some damage in one hit. And
you can evolve your Pokemon with other cards.
What was that?
Okay, fair.
I was just saying, Jordan, that if you have like the evolutionary line of a certain Pokemon, you could evolve it while you're battling.
Oh,
I also
okay.
think you have to have the energy cards for it too. Personally, I just go in with freaking Mewtwo and just destroy everybody, but that's just me.
Mewtwo can be stopped.
I use my limited edition, first edition Charizard. I bring it to all my Pokemon events.
Yeah, what is it foiled?
Okay, admit to show off that I have like a freaking really expensive card that people would spend a freaking fortune on to get.
Yeah, I have a Black Lotus picture.
I don't actually have. I actually don't have that Charizard. I just know that people have literally died because of that Charizard.
Hey, sometimes you just have to return it.
Well, speaking of dying, I think the developer behind Cyberpunk 2077 might need to be on suicide watch, and here's why. So after over 500 bug improvements,
Damn.
Cyberpunk 2077 is still being rejected for getting put back on the PlayStation Store. I'll say that again, over 500 bug fixes and still being rejected to go on the PlayStation Store. I'll let you guys talk, and I'll probably, because I'm sure one of you guys will bring up the point as to why, or a good reason as to why Sony is doing this. But I want to hear, what is Sony's big mark here? Like, what is their big play here with this?
They don't want they don't want another PT situation to happen, and they don't want to have to sit there and deal with the refund, the issue, everything going on. They want the game to be fixed, and I would
agree.
reject them.
Yeah, this can't be fixed in increments. This has to be like fixed.
Mm-hmm.
This
Full
is like
stop.
Fallout 76. You can't just take your sweet ass time fixing the damn thing. It has to be fixed right then and there. People are still going to be complaining about it, and Sony doesn't want to put up with that crap anymore.
Yeah, and plus, CD Projekt Red right now is, they got hacked and someone stole the coding for the game and tried to sell it to the highest bidder.
Allegedly.
Right? Yeah, allegedly. So, right now alone, this is not looking great. And now PlayStation's rejecting. Now, they might just be rejecting that game and they want nothing else to do with it. Or there's more bugs that gotta get fixed and they know it. And they're like, nah.
One of the bugs that I like to freaking mention a lot whenever we talk about this game of when the cars get yeeted across the city is still in the game.
I feel
My
like
all-time favorite is still walking up to the man in the wheelchair, and then when you punch him, the AI is just automatically generated to just run away. So you punch a man in a wheelchair as you do, and then he just runs away.
Yeah, I hope they keep that one.
Oh yeah, by the way, anybody who plays World of Warcraft or watches these things, Burning Crusade Classic comes out today.
You know what? I saw that and I was like, I don't know what these words mean. Like, I know each individual word, but not when they're putting the sentence together, so I didn't put it in. But if you want to talk about it, Charles, go for it.
I know a lot of people thinking if anybody would still plays World of Warcraft was actually excited for this because, like, a lot of people got into World of Warcraft during Burning Crusade, and a lot of people really liked that expansion. Even though they liked Wrath of the Lich King more, though, which I don't blame them because from what I seen, that expansion was way better in my opinion. And even till like recently with World of Warcraft Legion and even World of Warcraft Warlords of Draenor, freaking what happened in Burning Crusade still has has to do with what goes on, because in Legion that was basically Burning Crusade 2.0, but it was like way better because you actually had to fight the Burning Crusade personally, and even at the end of that expansion you ended up seeing Sargeras for the first time, because instead of just like a copy of him that was like not as powerful as him, he actually shows up and freaking in the final cutscene of that expansion, and just for him to get freaking imprisoned by Illidan, the planet where the Titans came from.
I thought Sargeras was dead. Doesn't anybody, once you have a tomb, doesn't anybody feel obligated to stay dead?
yeah, because someone just spent the time on that tomb for you, and then it's like, he's not dead. Why did I build this? You know how much stone that took? Yeah, I would be mad. I would just kill him and bury him again. You're not dead? And then drag him back.
It's kind of hard. In World of Warcraft, it's practically impossible to kill a Titan. The only reason why one guy's even get a land a freaking scratch on his hand was because of the weapon he had was freaking enchanted. Even then, freaking, he still got his ass handed to him.
I feel that whenever I use an enchanted bow in Minecraft, I can usually get a few good hits in.
Well, while we're on the Sony wagon from our story we just talked about, I want to go into something a little bit more Sony at fault-ish. You know what I mean? Like more Sony's the heel in this situation. So, if you guys know about the whole Epic Games, Sony battle going on between Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turns out Borderlands 3 is coming across the same issue.
Uh-oh.
And now we have more information as to why certain things are an issue, and I'll get to that in a sec. So, Borderlands 3 just came out with an update to be cross-platform. Or it might not have come out yet, but they're done with it. Like they're ready to release it if it hasn't already been released. The issue is that they had to remove the cross-play function from PlayStation. So Borderlands series is available on the Epic Game Store. And with the Epic Game Store being owned by, you named it, Epic, they're currently in a battle with Sony. And so the deal they have right now is that Sony can, will have Epic Game Store stuff on their thing. They just can't be cross-platform. Sony's reason behind this, and a big reason why Fortnite was an issue, was because, yeah, they granted the player would spend a majority of their time on the PlayStation if that's the console they played on, but the avenue to spend their microtransactions on a different console or a different PC or phone or whatever, that's what has Sony up in their bunches. They don't want players spending money off of their console. So that is why they're doing this. Now, do you think PlayStation, like, don't look at it from a business standpoint per se, because I understand, like, business-wise, it's like, yeah, why wouldn't you want people to spend money on your area? But just as, like, a good faith to the consumer or to the gamer, do you see this sticking around? Do you see this being a long-term decision, or do you see this just as, like a shot at Fortnite here, because Fortnite's really what started this whole trend?
Well, who's under more pressure to get this going? I think it sounds to me like Sony holds all the cards, because it's a whole market for Fortnite to provide. I know you said, like, don't think about the business, but it's hard not to think about the business side of it. So I can understand if I'm not exactly sure how the server system works, if Epic is the one hosting the servers, even if it's being connected by Sony. So it's not like Sony has to pay for that.
Well, that's the thing. So it is hosted on Epic servers, and if with cross-platform, there'd be less servers for Epic to have to maintain. But now with PlayStation having their own set, like, you can only play with PlayStation people, that's a reservation of servers dedicated to just PlayStation rather than open to everyone.
It also makes it harder for games to fill up. Not that Fortnite was having problems with it or anything, but the idea
Borderlands
is
3 might.
True,
because that's what this game is, Borderlands 3. And I know we have the our resident Borderlands expert here with us today, but Borderlands
It's good to be here.
isn't as popular as a game, and it may not see as big of a clientele as Fortnite did. And Borderlands 3, not even the most popular Borderlands of the series. See ya, Charles. I think he's mad.
I think he's going to grab a gun.
No.
$5 say he's grabbing a gun.
toy chainsaw.
Skin your butt raw.
It's I don't understand Sony's big issue with it when it's all said and done. Did he just toss a porno mag on his bed? What did I just miss?
Yeah, it's that time of day, Jordan. Come on.
Oh, Mask. Okay, I thought
Mask,
you were
okay.
grabbing a gun, and then I seen something flop on the bed, and I went, Charles can't hold it. He gotta go.
I want to talk about someone who's the freaking Borderlands nut here.
I got
I
more
was
clap
referring
traps
to
than
you.
you've ever seen.
No,
I don't
that's
care
just
about
called-
those freaking,
No,
freaking
Jordan,
props,
that's
make you crap.
you just have the clap. There's a difference.
I got a trap too.
I plan
they
on
call
playing
me
that thing
the
for the movie
trap.
whenever it comes out, by the way.
On this podcast, we referred to Jordan having the clap and being a trap, so that is interesting.
He does like to do anime shit, though.
All right, Bussy, what's going on here? What's your opinion on this?
I just see it as like a short-term thing because Gearbox really isn't being affected by this because they're still somehow making money off of all this freaking shit that they're doing with Borderlands 3. And I've just actually reinstalled that game because I thought about playing it again. I turned it on and I only was like on it for like 5 seconds and I was like, yup, freaking I remember why I was disappointed with this thing, and I immediately freaking hopped off that thing after I got all the golden keys I've been freaking saving up in that thing. It's just like I know they still have a lot of people playing on all the other platforms for that game, and I know there's still people playing it on Xbox, so I don't think if they don't have people playing it on PlayStation with those other people, I don't think it really hurts them, but I don't know.
Yeah, this is a weird scenario. It's not really weird. It's just like, I want to say PlayStation's in the wrong, but they're not. You know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah.
because I'm angry at it doesn't mean I'm right. Believe it or not. I don't know.
We're talking about the company that freaking shut down the whole demo for that Silent Hill game. People freaking were uploading.
Well,
open
they
when it
that wasn't
came out.
They didn't shut
that
it
wasn't
down.
necessarily. Yeah, that wasn't Sony's fault. The entire company kind of imploded on itself, and that game was never coming out. So they're like, why
They
are we
released an
wasting space?
update that removed the demo that had people if people had it on their freaking consoles. They released an update that deleted it off their consoles. That's why people literally scoured all over eBay and shit, freaking trying to find one with that demo on it.
Well, I didn't say they weren't a bunch of mega beta cucks. I just said that they weren't in the wrong.
Yeah, I
but
want to
yeah.
attack Sony just because of, I mean, they're obvious. I think we talked about them so far every podcast since the Game Awards, like them doing something wrong or they actually do something right, but then here's some downsides. Honestly, Gearbox, I know 100% a lot of the big streamers who play Borderlands are playing on PC, Xbox. I'm not really seeing too many on PlayStation. So Gearbox, if I'm imagining this right, they're not going to be affected by it. They're really not. They're going to look at it going, what can you do? Okay, cool. They don't want to work with us. That's fine. We got this cross-platform going. If Sony isn't wrong, they're just proving why having cross-platform is so hard to deal with, because you have one company it's just like, I want to do this my way. I want to get this. I want my money. God, Sony and Apple should really meet up sometime.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, this reminds me of how with the Apple iOS update, they want to protect the user experience that their users are having. So if Sony, I guess they think very highly of their customer base, and they don't think very highly of the man shoulder and the mouth breathers that are the Nintendo and Xbox fan base. I can see like they want to have a more curated experience, even if it is a game that's available on different platforms. So I can see the logic there, but that's, I don't know. I'm sure there's mouth breathers who play the PlayStation too.
It's kind of the same thing that's going on with Final Fantasy 14. Like, there's people like me who want it to come to Xbox, but Xbox is being dicks about it. They're like, the dude who's in charge of Final Fantasy 14 even is like, I freaking am more than happy to freaking bring my game to freaking your console, just like you guys need to freaking be willing to play ball with me here.
Yeah, I think we've all learned here that just big companies suck.
Yeah. And it also sucks when people leave big companies or big franchises.
Yeah. See, I see what you're trying to do there, but I actually wasn't going to tell that story tonight. I wasn't going to go cover that one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But I do want to talk about this because it involves our main man, the big dog himself, J.J. Abrams. If you don't know who J.J. Abrams is, weird. But also he either produced, directed, or was a writer for movies like Regarding Henry. One of my personal favorites, Armageddon. A lot of the newer Star Trek series he worked on. He was a big part of the sequel trilogy for Star Wars.
Which sucked!
I'll leave that one be. Some like it, some don't. Believe it or not, I'm quite indifferent. But I also like the prequels, so I'm in the minority there.
I like the prequels too.
But
well, I like The Last Jedi, so it's just me.
I mean, I like The Force Awakens, but after that,
I will say that one I think is just you, Joseph. But he has come out and said that his newest project is that my dog is so whiny. Your mom's downstairs. She doesn't love you. That's what I was told when I was a kid. It worked, I promise. Anyway, he said that his newest project is ready to go under production. And some of you might be like, oh, what's this newest production and why are you guys talking about it on the show? Well, that is because it is a new movie. It is a movie based on one of my favorite Valve games, Portal.
Yeah.
They're making a Portal movie, which, if you guys have ever played the game or read any of the lore, it is super deep in lore that isn't told directly through the games. So that's exciting, and it's really awesome.
I wonder if they're gonna make a reference to the cake as a lie meme.
Well, they would have to. That's part of the lore.
There'd be a whole subplot about them making the cake.
Yeah, the whole subplot about how she's trying to get to the cake.
So my question to you, a Portal fan. I mean, I like the game series too, and all. It's just like what for me, the gameplay experience is very specific. And what I really enjoy about it too is, when I go through the portal and there's the whole momentum thing and I'm flying through the air, I really feel like I'm playing port or I'm going through that momentum. Like it's
Yeah.
like it messes with my head. Like I'm actually like getting that feeling of it. So I can see it being a pretty enjoyable experience. I'm wondering if they're going to go like first person, maybe even have it in 3D, because that would elevate the experience, in my opinion.
The
I would hope
3D,
that-
the 3D, I'm kind of 50-50 on because you've seen movies that are done correctly in 3D, and then there have been plenty of movies that are done incorrectly in 3D.
Well, there's movies where it's like they didn't really intend to make it a 3D movie, and then
I will
marketing came
say,
by and said make it
making
3D.
making it first person, I think, would be the right move. I really do. With the technology we have now, I think those portal jumps and everything that's going on, that would look fantastic.
Like
in first
Hardcore
person.
Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think it would be a good idea to make it like an animated movie of some kind, or just make it like it's like the first person scene from the Doom movie, but Portal.
See, I get what you're saying. I respectfully disagree. I feel like this movie, if they're going to do it, I think it would look fantastic, especially with J.J. Abrams. He has a big studio backing him. He has a dump truck of money to put into production. I feel like if done right, this could look fantastic. It could be done correctly. I am nervous because it is a video game movie to movie adaptation, which very, very rarely works out. But it is exciting.
I mean, Sonic worked out pretty good. Now we're just waiting on the Borderlands movie to see how that turns out. Thinking hopefully if the Borderlands movie doesn't tank, hopefully this Portal one will work out. And hope to God they finally fucking make the Halo one.
The thing is they won't make Halo. And the reason they won't make another movie is because they've already tried a couple movies. It didn't work out. No director's going to pick it up going, let's try again. They're going to look at it and going, no.
I mean, these freaking series,
Oh, look.
like TVs like Forward Unto Dawn and Nightfall that actually are pretty good, even though I've never seen Nightfall, but Forward Unto Dawn was actually pretty cool.
That's the thing. Look at the Mortal Kombat series. They did one or two, or they did like 2 or 3 movies back in the day, and they didn't do too good. But then they just released this new one 20 years later, and it's not bad.
Yeah,
So maybe it just takes the right creative mind to follow, or at least loosely base it off actual source material. And
Hey,
don't get
Hollywood,
me wrong,
freaking hire me and Jordan, and we'll freaking direct this damn thing.
No, I'm good, dude. I'm already busy enough. I'm good. I don't want to direct a Halo film. That just seems too much like work, and I don't want to look at a man who's 8 feet tall. I'm good.
Jordan's like, I don't want to waste my time directing bad movies.
I know that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna come in being like, oh yeah, Halo baby, let's do it, and then when it's said and done, it's gonna be a bad movie. It will be my first thing I directed. I'm good.
At least
I'm
it couldn't be
good.
as bad as freaking as the Monster Hunter movie.
And you haven't seen my skills. I can make a poop show out of anything.
So there is that. That was, I think, I don't want to say excited. I feel like that is too much of a. I think that's too much to say for this. I will say I am curious. I think I'll leave it at that. I'm curious to see how this is going to go. And they haven't started production yet, so this thing we're probably never going to see until late 2022, early 2023, late 2023, something like that. So
I hope a little bit sooner, because I think one thing we all learned in like the last year is if you expect, like, every time I've been to the theater or watched something new, I have to put in the back of my mind, like, I'm expecting to be garbage or trash and stuff, something like that. And so when I watched
I feel
the show,
about recording these shows.
you going like, this is trash. You listen to it afterwards going, not bad. But
Your expectations are here. You only go up.
Exactly. So, and I feel the same way about most stuff. But with the movies and stuff like that, if at least they get it out now or in this time period, we're all still in that mindset of, if you go into it thinking this, it's going to be so much better. And that's what I'm hoping, because I'm going to see The Quiet Place, just not in theaters. I will never experience that ever again. I don't like the idea of you eating popcorn and the movies happen and you just go.
Oh, see, usually movie theater is the quiet place.
Nope, not anymore. Not anymore. I like the pun. I like it. Or the reference.
I'll tell you guys a funny story after hear about my movie theater experience.
I'm totally down with that. And did we think of an all timer segment?
No. We'll do 2 next week. How about that?
Yeah, that works. And to the audience, I will state this: we didn't film this on Memorial Day. We pushed it out to Tuesday. So all of us are just like, different day. We all have our normal things we do every day. So it's, for me, it's totally weird. Usually at this point in time, I'm either streaming a video game or I'm making dinner because I ran a lot this morning. And this time I didn't sleep with anything. So I didn't run. I ran to the fridge. That's what I did. And let me tell you, ice cold water works every time. But I mean, so what is there anything else that, like, in gaming news or anything interesting going on with that then?
Apparently, Outriders released a freaking patch that actually fixed some things and actually made the game actually pretty good for a change.
Oh, that's
Don't
good.
expect me to be playing it though, because I'm still freaking irritated with that game and I still don't have anyone to play it with.
See, I'm Call of Duty released their like 90s or 80s update to where you can play as like Bruce Willis or what's his face. Yeah. And so they did that. That's been cool. The game's still a little broken. They're doing a buff week. They're about to buff a lot of stuff that's going to really break the game. So I'm excited. Currently the baseball bat is like an energy sword from Halo 2. So that's interesting. If you can lunge and get somebody killed, that's been an interesting thing. But honestly, I think that's it. Cause we talked about all of our stories. There's not, if James can't think of an all-timer segment, I think we're ready to wrap it up.
How about all-timer favorite sellouts?
My favorite is Joseph. So how about you sell us out?
More than happy to. Sorry, it's been a long day at work for me, so I'm like, I can hear it in my voice. My voice is donezo for the day. But for those of you who've listened to this show for the first time, listen to a couple of other episodes too while you're at it, so you can get a median. And I'm an e-commerce expert. I do a podcast called Ecomonics. It is ECOMONICS. Teaches you everything you need to know about running your own business online, which I highly recommend because it is the way things are going. So might as well get on board. Yeah. And you can also check out my creative endeavors at giantenemycompany.com.
Nice. And well,
Charles?
Charles can definitely sell himself out if he gets back.
Oh, he's decorating his room. All right, I'll sell him out. He has CJ the Lone Wolf on YouTube, and I think that's the only social he has. He recently passed 60 subscribers, so go subscribe to him. He does videos on reactions and diecast and Destiny and Halo gameplay. Stuff. Yep.
And when I uploaded a clip I did from when me and Jordan were playing Left 4 Dead the other day, and he killed 2 special infected within a quick succession while I was down.
Yeah, I'm pretty quick.
And if anybody wants to know how much of a NASCAR fan is, here's the freaking hood I was freaking talking about.
So Charles is a dumpster diver. That's what we just learned.
That was a friend of mine that I used to work with.
That is cool.
My name is The Architect on Twitter and YouTube. Find me there. I do stuff and things sometimes. Yeah. Do you want to sell out the podcast, or do you want me to?
Sure. I'll jump on this. Hey guys, cool. My name's Jordan, also known as Skull Hunter Games. I'm everywhere. Just search that up. You will find us. And the podcast. Well, guys, we are everywhere you can find your podcasts at. We're on the audio realm. Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcast from. It's really none of our business. I want it to be. And the live feed is on YouTube, Facebook. Usually they're scheduled on Thursday. So we're trying to get new schedules, and eventually we'll do them live. And that's pretty much it for that. And then also, guys, I'm going to say a big thank you to Anchor. You guys probably heard their ad 1 or 2 times in the stream. But thank you, Anchor. They're an all-in-one shop. Their app is amazing. I actually found some new creating tools online to edit the podcast while you're uploading, so it makes it even more easier for you. They're constantly updating it. Whenever you need it, they got it, and they have a 24-hour customer service. So when you do have problems, they're there. They're really polite, really nice. So highly recommend them. And guys, that's the podcast. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Go ahead, secretly speaking anime trap girl.
Wait, no, I should have done the